out the posting in accordance with Chapter 591 of the Texas Government Code, as amended, also known as the Texas Public Meetings Act. Is that correct? Thank you, ma'am. At this time, I would like to.
He's doing that one.
Okay, does that sound any better?
The acoustics are really bad here, so you're going to be really quiet kind of still because, like, you can't, like, it's really, really bad with our speaker system.
Okay, again, we do have proof posting in accordance with Chapter 551 of the Texas Government Code, as amended, and also known as the Texas Open Meetings Act. Today, I would like to ask the commissioners, we have one request to move. It's going to be item number.
He already left, so we were.
Oh, he did? Okay. Okay, so members of the public who wish to speak today shall each have 3 minutes to address the court regarding matters that do not appear on the agenda. The Commissioners' Court may not deliberate or take any action on any item that is not posted. Any discussion of the subject must be limited to providing specific factual information. Again, just before we start our public comments, I would like to remind everybody that what we saw on social media, there was some confusion, I guess, about our courts and the time and dates that were picked. But we have court on the first and third Wednesdays of every month, and they always start at 9 a.m. It's been that way for a long time, so I want people to know that. And every court that we have, members of the public have the right to come speak for 3 minutes about anything. And again, if there is something on the agenda, which I think most of y'all are here because of reinvestment zone number 14, that is on the agenda, and for June the 17th, Commissioners' Court meeting, which will be at 9 a.m. So just keep in mind today that as much as we would like to respond, legally we can't. We do appreciate y'all being here. We do want to hear your concerns, and hopefully that what y'all say today will help us have a more fruitful meeting on the 17th. So at this time, whoever would like to go first.
Real quick, on the 17th, is a representative from Cyrus One going to be here to field questions?
Yes.
Thank you.
I'd like to speak.
Here, I have a microphone.
Thank you.
Yes. And each person that's going to speak, if you would please state your name. We can start.
Thank you first and foremost to Judge Ling and to the commissioners for allowing this forum and allowing us to address this issue and allowing me the opportunity to speak today. My name is Tony Abel. I reside in the city of Fairfield, and I stand before you as a resident who loves his community and is deeply invested in its future. And like many of my neighbors, I have been following the discussion surrounding the proposed data centers and have some concerns. I want to be honest and say that I don't know everything about it. I'm still learning, researching, and trying to understand the full scope of these developments and what this can mean for our county and for our community. However, I'm sorry, I'm nervous, y'all. What I do know is that this decision is of this magnitude deserves a lot of time, transparency, and meaningful input from the people who would be most impacted. Many residents have questions about the long-term impacts of our water, our land, our infrastructure, our environment, and the quality of life. These are not unreasonable concerns. They are questions that deserve thoughtful answers before irreversible decisions are made. I believe that the people who live here, work here, raise families here, and have invested their lives here should have a voice in shaping the future of this country. Too often it feels like major decisions are influenced by those with the greatest resources. And y'all know what I'm talking about, billionaires, millionaires. while everyday citizens are left to live with the consequences. We may not all have the same financial influences, but we have something just as important, a deep commitment to this community and a vested interest in protecting what we have worked so hard to build. Because of that, I respectfully ask that you consider implementing a temporary moratorium of 1 to 2 years on the approval of the new data centers projects. This pause would allow time for independent research, public education, community meetings, and thorough evaluation of both potential benefits and the possible risk. This request is not about stopping process or progress. It's not about being an anti-business or anti-development. It's about making sure the progress is responsible, informed, and the best interests of the people who call this county home. I believe that taking the time to fully understand the long-term impacts of these projects is not a delay of progress. It's good stewardship. It ensures that the future generations inherit a community that remains strong, sustainable, and worthy of the people who live here.
3 minutes.
At the end of the day, my hope is simple, that every resident has the opportunity to be informed, ask questions, and have their voices heard before decisions are made that could impact our county for decades to come.
My name is Courtney Jackson. I'm here to talk about proposed freestone data centers. It has only recently, just like most people in Fairfield, come to our attention that there are plans to build data centers in our town. Upon hearing this news, it has become my #1 goal to let the people know that there will be a public hearing later this month. And let me tell you, you will hear from the public. We do not want this data center here, and here are our greatest concerns. The first and really the most important fact is that God has called us to be good stewards of the land. In Numbers 35, do not pollute the land where you are. Do not defile the land where you live and where you dwell. Revelations. The nations were angry and your wrath has come. The time has come for judging the dead and rewarding your servants, the prophets and the people who revere your name, and for destroying those who destroy the earth. There will be divine judgment for those who exploit and degrade God's creation. Now let's look at the federal and state guidelines and procedures to ensure the data centers will be completely safe to have in our town. According to U.S. Environmental Protection Agency, they have introduced policies that specifically designed to fast-track their construction. The federal policy is actively reducing hurdles to help build them faster. Now doesn't that seem like a safe and smart idea? Sarcasm, of course. Now let's look at what the fast-tracking has caused in damages so far in places like Virginia, starting with air pollution and respiratory health. Research published by the National Institute of Health, NIH, highlights that data centers emit hazardous pollutants like fine particulate matter, nitrogen oxide, correlating data centers with air pollution, asthma-related symptoms, and premature deaths. Moving on to noise pollution. Also according to the NIH, persistent 24/7 noise from powerful cooling systems and generators have been linked to sleep deprivation, hypertension, cardiovascular issues, among other effects for residents. Water pollution. According to several studies done from the Virginia Data Center Alley, data centers affect health indirectly through intensive water use and wastewater discharge associated with cooling systems, which strain local water supplies, degrade water quality. These changes increase risk of water scarcity, waterborne diseases, and poor maternal and infant health, with effects that intensify over time under drought and climate stress, and yes, even in a closed-loop system. This rapid transformation threatens rural populations, contributing to increased psychological stress, exacerbated by limited healthcare access. The loss of farmland will disrupt local economies and erode cultural and historical ties, particularly for farmers who see the land as central to their identity and economic well-being, aka like half the county. Now let's talk about cancer. The National Institute of Health has released evidence that air pollution caused by data centers and energy demands contribute significantly higher localized and national public health burdens, including lung cancer.
3 minutes.
PFAS and forever chemicals, data centers rely on them for server cooling and fire suppression, even in closed
responding to the Cyrus One sales pitch that there will be no ill effect on Freestone County. I ask you to consider your source of this research, who funded this research, and who benefits from this. But this is only in a perfect laboratory situation that there are no ill effects, but that is not the real world. They will end up taking more water because they will need it once drought and the inevitable higher temps kick in, and they will end up using enormous amounts of electricity and fronting us the higher bills. We've seen it across the nation. Electric bills have doubled and tripled. Water bills have doubled and tripled. The water, soil, and air will pollute with forever chemicals and other carcinogens. And the noise we hear will keep us up at night thinking of how our government has failed us. These statements are no longer a theory or a conspiracy. These are proven facts backed by real scientific studies. It is not too late to say no to big data. The lies they tried to trick us with, or the blood money that has been accepted. Put the community and our children, our poor, and our ecosystem first. Put God's will first. We the people call for a complete ban on any and all present or future data centers. And I hope when you all go home tonight and you look at your children that you think of these things, that you will be passing on to them.
Sam Anderson and Teague. Just want to say to you guys, I appreciate you holding this today. I know that you guys are in a tough spot right now, but the first time that I came and spoke with you gentlemen about the dangers of not only the data centers, but also the solar farms, is I was by myself. The crowd is beginning to grow. And I want everybody to understand that I know you guys are in a tough spot, and we are here to support you guys. Also realize there's 44 states now that are beginning to try to find ways to stop this. We've got to put a stop to this for at least until next year when the legislators go back into session so that they can do something to give you guys back the power to help us keep our rural way of life out here in the country. I talk to people all the time now, ever since I found out about the one out of 488. I talk to people all the time. Their lives are being destroyed, absolutely destroyed. Our roads are being destroyed by the trucks. The dirt that's on the roads, the animals that are being killed, and this isn't even with anything starting up yet. I talked with a lady the other day. Her cat got run over by a truck because the truck was just racing down the road. I followed a truck the other day full of guys going from one side of the highway to the other. They didn't have brake lights on their truck. I hear these kind of dangers all the time. I want you guys to know I support you, but this crowd is going to grow and grow, and we are going to stand strong.
Yes. Yes.
My name is Jeff Harrison, and I have an issue that I'd like to have addressed. It's something I read. I don't know if it's true. It could be quantified, though. I heard that one data center in Louisiana uses more power than the entire city of New Orleans.
That's true. That is true.
Thank you very much for taking the time to consider all of our viewpoints. My name is Virginia Folsom. I've been in this area since 1983, and many of us are neighbors and friends. So when the data center issue came up, I started doing some research, and I wasn't worried at first, and now I am. And some of the statistics that we are seeing from other data centers are absolutely frightening. We all know that we have got water issues in Texas. Some of these data centers that have been in operation in 2025 are predicted to consume 25 billion gallons of water. This is based on the 77,000 acre area. By 2030, this demand could increase to 29 to 161 billion gallons of water consumed. So again, that's number one, is our water. The other thing I read is that the Public Utilities Commission is doing a survey. The survey will not be done until sometime in 2027 in preparation for the 2027 legislative session. I don't know how broad that is, or how, who is doing it, but it seems like legislation has already been considered in the state of Texas without a lot of these research reports being done. So I just ask y'all to look very closely at what's happening in these surveys that are being done, and the people that are giving us accurate information. We need, the Environmental Protection Agency as well as the many other agencies that are watching us. So thank you very much.
Transparency. Why do we only ever find out about these projects after they are moving tons of drugs? Yes. 2,000 acres outside of Hubbard, 3.5 miles on the freeway where you can see. How far does that go? That's a lot. The water, we're already experiencing droughts and shortages of water all over the state. The aquifers can't fill up fast enough to keep up with the pace of their water that they're going to use. 4 to 12 degree increase in heat and temperatures across the areas where these things are. How far does that spread? They gas off gases of some sort. The noise has already been addressed. The electricity has already been addressed. It's massive. Loss of real estate value. There are 500 centers already in the state of Texas. How many more do we need?
Right.
To enrich those that have the crypto and the Bitcoin and all the stuff that gets chain blocked with these things. What's the purpose? What benefits us as the voters and the taxpayers in this country and in this state? That 2-year hiatus would allow research and observation to see exactly how these centers operate, what benefits, what drawbacks they have, the positives and the negatives. And that's all I've got.
Anybody else?
We talked about how much water this uses. They use water they don't get back. We don't get that water back. When they destroy that water with the particles and problems, it's not reusable. Once it's gone, it's gone. We can't get it back. There's nothing else to say about it. We can't afford to lose our water for forever. Thank you.
My name's Nina Reddick, and y'all hear everything, y'all know what's going on. I just hope y'all have Jesus Christ in your heart to help you make these decisions. He's my Lord and Savior, and I hope y'all consider that, because it's not just about money, and it's not just about what's going here and what's going there. It's about all of us. We're all of a community, and I just hope y'all take that into consideration, because one day y'all will regret this, and y'all will need him more than ever. Thank you. Amen.
My name is Keith Owens, taking time out of this meeting to do this. I just found out about the 488 one this morning, and I would have been against it had I known. I just hope that if the vast majority of the people of this county do not want this, that that's how y'all vote. And that's what y'all do. Thank you.
terrible, a lot of bad things going on. What people need to understand is that these people that are in charge of this, they're funding this, they don't have to have any transparency. They don't have to explain exactly what these things are or what they do or what the consequences are because they don't care. The fact that the United States government is giving tax breaks on this, endorsing it, that doesn't really help the situation either because I've seen a lot of mismanagement across the board. The point is this, we've got all these towers emitting all this radiation. We got stuff being dropped from the sky, we don't know what it is. We got snowballs, you can take a match to, we don't know. A lot of stuff is mismanaged. But down here in Texas, things are supposed to be different. You don't let people come in and just destroy the land, reap the benefits, and then walk away unscathed. They don't think you just do this. You have all of these people spending this big money, you don't know who the people are or what they're doing. It's endorsed, and they're putting them up everywhere. In Virginia, when they did this, the electrical bills went up 60–70%. All the wells went dry, and not only that, they were contaminated with heavy metals, completely unusable by the time they were done. These people don't care about Texas. They don't care about us. These things have no business down here whatsoever. All of this radiation they're exposing us to, this is all cumulative. I don't know if people understand this or not, but every time you use a microwave, every time you use your cell phone, every time you get an x-ray, every time you go by a cell tower, and especially these nuclear reactors they want to bring down here, this radiation, you take it with you. When you're exposed to it, it becomes a part of you, it's cumulative. It doesn't go away. It adds up, it adds up, it adds up. It kills you slowly. People need to be educated on this. We don't have any reason to bring all this in. What is the point of this? All of a sudden we need all of this data center all over the place for what? We were doing okay prior to this. What actually is it and what's going on? You have to scratch your head. And as far as I'm concerned, I think that the powers that be have made their decisions. They're going to do it. And I don't think you can do anything about it. I don't think anybody here can do anything about it. But maybe you can. This isn't about profits. This isn't about money. This isn't about appeasing our government. This is about standing up for the people of Fairfield. This is about stopping the evil right at the doorstep. We don't need this here. I don't want this here. Nobody wants this data center. It's not going to bring jobs. It's not going to help anybody. It's going to It's going to contaminate the night sky. It's going to light up so you can't see. You're going to hear buzzing all the time. They plan on, what do they do? Hook and Bull Ranch? Is that where they plan on putting this thing?
3 minutes.
3 minutes. I'll be back next time. We got more to talk about.
Good morning. My name is Tawny Gray. I've lived here most of my whole life. My kids grew up here. My family's from here. The data centers, which we're not just talking one, we're talking 6 or more, will be put in. My concern is everything that everybody else has said, but currently right now, our little town doesn't have the capabilities of even supplying our own grid as it is. I mean, my electricity went out 3 times last night, and that's 4 data center went in, much less 6 data centers.
Right.
And the water, the natural resources, I agree with all that. But I think that there's a lot more EPA looks into stuff that needs to happen. And I do think that we need to hold off until we can find answers and solutions. This closed system that they're talking about, it's not closed. They can't clean water. There goes our lakes, there goes our animals, there goes our deer, there goes everything, you know. And agree with the emissions and stuff like that. But that's all I have to say. I'll be back on the 17th. We'll see what's happening.
Hi, my name is Lee Miller. I'm the 6th generation of my family to reside in Freestone County. And I just want to speak to the fact that these data centers are not attempting to locate in areas near Dallas or Houston or Austin where there's robust zoning. They are attempting to place these installations in rural areas where they believe that that the zoning plays in their favor. And it's obvious that this is something that's being rushed through before the regulatory boards can get a handle on it. And the reality is we don't know what the environmental impact is of these massive data centers. And I just echo what Tony said and what Sarah said, and I'm asking that our county commissioners institute a moratorium for at least 2 years to give the legislature and the regulatory boards the chance to study what the long-term impact of these data centers are. And just something else to consider. Once that land is gone to a data center, it is gone. There is no reclaiming it. There is no rehabbing it. We can no longer farm, ranch, feed our community because we have paved it over. That can't be undone. So I just ask that we consider to stop, put a stop and a moratorium to this, and not allow large corporate interests and shell corporations that are hoping there's a bubble to this thing, allow them to come in and take advantage of our rural communities, because that's what they're doing. They're trying to take advantage. Thank you.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Russell Plant. I've been a resident of Freestone County, Fairfield, Texas for almost 51 years now. One thing I want to address that a lot of folks don't understand or haven't looked into is, let me start over. I read the minutes that y'all had on the last meeting and on the first bill about the data center, with it put a cap on the water and the sound at 50 decibels. There's a sound that's called an infrasound that not a lot of folks look at or study. Whereas decibels you hear, this travels in hertz. And it's below what you can hear. You can see it, you can feel it. Other people complain about their windows vibrating. And there's only a couple of case studies right now. But everybody being cattle people, there's an effect that infrasound has on people and cattle, wildlife. Next. Yes, ma'am. And next is just the overall traffic. I live right on 48 and 833. Next to some of my neighbors and commissioners. Man, we need to get some control out there. Them guys running down through there 90, 85 miles an hour in these tractor trailer leagues. Loaded and unloaded. Last, we had a 36-inch pipeline coming to our place. It's taken to inlet building. One data center is one thing, but multiple data centers and even a possible battery bank going to be brought in. If we allow that or we empower these companies to do this, how long before they have enough money and power where they start taking land for data centers? Right. Thank you.
Anybody else like to speak this morning? If not, then we will go back to the agenda. We'll go to item number 1, which is approve the minutes. 26 regular meeting. I will say while we're going through this, thank y'all for coming. Concerns are noted, and we look forward to seeing you guys.